And so, from a small but sort of lovely airport here in Split, we are now journeying towards Prague for the first time in Czechia, and we have heard so many good things about Prague. Like at least 10 people said, dude, Prague is the place. All of the capital cities in Europe. So let's go. Next stop, Prague. I'll tell you what, if you give me the option of how to get to the plane, I would choose walking on the runway. It makes me feel like I'm flying private.
Really? Wow.
But really, it's not private. Economy.
Hey, we got an empty seat.
We did it. It's the best country in the world. It's the greatest country in the whole
Look
world.
at that.
You like beer? Yes, please. Cheers.
Wow.
It's real beer. What? It's real beer.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's fake beer.
Wow, welcome. A welcome gift at the airport.
Hockey players giving out beer in the airport. I'm going to open it and drink it right now. Is it okay? I think it must be okay to drink now.
Yeah, I think so.
This is the greatest country in the whole world.
Welcome
I'm not
drink.
kidding.
Welcome drink right at the
This
airport.
is the greatest country. Let me just get a taste here.
Wow.
Best country ever. Oh wait, there's more. Beer and hockey survival guide. Man, Canada has a lot to learn. How to order a beer in local language. Ladinka, snit, mliko. This is some nice food you can order here.
Wow.
Traditional food.
They got a checklist too.
Beer and hockey, the perfect match. I've been saying that for 20 years. Na zdravie, cheers. Pivo prosim, a beer please. Oh my god, this is the greatest country in the whole world.
Wow.
Every other country needs to step their game up because Czechia is number one. Top spot. Greatest place ever. Certainly on earth, maybe the whole universe.
Right.
Best. And so we've made it to our apartment here. We'll give you the brief accommodation tour. Brief because it's not so big, but just nice for us. Bedroom, the TV in a not ideal spot, but no problem. And kitchen and living room with no art on the walls, unfortunately, just plain white. But this place costs something like €55 a night. I'll show you on the screen in local money and US dollars. This is our bathroom. More than okay for us. I sort of thought this was a bidet, but Ivana's saying maybe it's a foot bath.
Yeah.
In any case, it's a good booking by the lovely Ivana.
Yes, so we've been chilling here in our apartment for a few days now. I've actually been doing a lot of online shopping for maternity clothes because I'm pregnant. And also, I've been doing a lot of bookings for our upcoming trip in the Azores in Portugal, which I find that the accommodations and the car rental prices there is a bit more expensive than I thought, but I discovered a travel hack that I will share with you later. First thing first, I'd like to thank Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. We make sure we use VPN to protect our data, especially when making online purchases. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, and it basically acts like a digital wall preventing anyone from gaining access to our private information, including our credit card info. VPN can also virtually change the location of your device to basically anywhere in the world. And sometimes you can get cheaper and better deal online depending on the country you shop from. For example, booking a car rental from Czech Republic is cheaper than booking from Australia. All you need to do is change the location of your device using VPN. With just the cost of a cup of coffee, you can protect yourself and save money. Click the link on our description and use the coupon code JETFAM, JETFAM, to get an extra 4 months for free. There is no risk in trying with 30 days money back guarantee. Thank you Surfshark for sponsoring today's video.
Boom. Now let's go explore Prague. And so naturally our first stop here in Czechia is the old town of Prague. Now Czechia is a country that is in Central Europe, and if you look at a map of Europe, you could argue it's right smack dab in the middle of Europe. And historically it was known as Bohemia. I've heard they made great rhapsodies. Sorry, I had to say it. But if you look at Prague in the region of Bohemia, again you could argue Prague is right smack dab in the middle of Bohemia. And so maybe this is why Prague is known as such a great cultural and historic tourist location, because all the different aspects of Europe, all the fine culture sort of overlap right here in Czechia. So in any case, let's explore the old town. And so here we have the Powder Tower. Now it's called the Powder Tower because back when it was built in the 1400s, it stored gunpowder, and the way it's turned black over so many centuries, it really looks medieval. And you can imagine it as an entrance gate to the old town that was one of 13 around the exterior wall. And I'm led to believe it's original from the 1400s, which is really a sight to see. I love the way the only colors on it are the gold swords and wings. It really is a fantastic entrance gate from something like 600 years ago. It's something special. And I guess they call these towers Adam and Eve towers. At first glance, they sort of look like twin towers, but you'll notice the one on the right is a little bigger. So they've got the nickname Adam and Eve towers. And so I think I'm starting to see why Prague has been so highly recommended, at least by my friends. We've got church bells ringing in the background. We've got horses going by with the buggies behind them. There are tourists all around admiring the really incredible architecture, although the old town here is so big that it's not necessarily crowded. Certainly over here there's something going on. Maybe we'll avoid that area for now at least, but it's spacious and it's beautiful and the sun is shining and it's a good day here in Prague. And so it turns out the crowd was for the astronomical clock you see behind me. So it does tell time like a normal clock, but it also shows the position of the sun and the moon and maybe the location of some of the planets. There's even some Christian apostles on the side telling a whole story. I won't pretend to know all the intricacies. What I do know is if the clock is doing well and working well, it's believed that the whole city will do well and work well because the clock is attached to the side of the city hall. So the city hall is original, I believe, from 1400s. The clock has obviously been renovated and renewed in a way to keep the city fresh, but it's a big time tourist attraction because it's incredibly unique and historic. And so introducing the Charles Bridge, everybody, which at least for me is one of the most impressive parts of the old town of Prague here. Not only because it provides a great view of both the old town and the new town, but more importantly, the construction of this bridge was completed in the year 1402. And so somehow it survived countless wars, including World War II, where most of Prague was not that heavily damaged in World War II. And maybe this is why so many tourists are here, because the history is still incredibly well intact. And it's really fun to walk on this bridge and imagine the people who built it, because they lived in a wildly different world than what we live in. They had kings instead of democracy. They had the Earth in the center of the solar system. And quite honestly, they didn't even know my place of birth even existed. So North America was yet to be quote-unquote discovered yet. I guess today the bridge is incredibly crowded with tourists, but for me still worth it. We've got some nice little four-piece band here with a great performance, and a lot of tourists use this bridge to walk across, leaving the old town and going to check out the palace, because the bridge sort of connects the old town to the palace. So I think next up we'll go check out the Prague Palace. What a beautiful day today. Let's keep going. Wow, check it out. Oldest pub in Prague since 1375. This dude looks like he's been here since day one. That's funny. And so at the top of a long staircase, you have Prague palace. The first thing you see when you walk in is this incredible building behind me. I've got to say, the Burj Khalifa has nothing on this place. It's so beautiful looking. There's parts of it that I almost want to say are psychedelic looking. Maybe that's the wrong word because it is a church after all, but incredibly beautiful and kind of groovy the way it's symmetrical on so many planes. There's the gold paint over here as well as the gold fleck mosaic.
Right.
Looks like $1 million. Now, unfortunately, the only way to get a ticket to go inside is to buy the ticket for the cathedral as well as the entire palace, which is like a 2-hour experience. And for the price, we were not interested in the palace. To be fair, the palace could be interesting.
Right.
It was the house of some Bohemian kings, some Holy Roman Empire kings, as well as now it's the house of the president. But we really just wanted to see the cathedral because from the outside, it's got to be one of the most beautiful buildings we've seen.
Stunning.
It's really a special place. And I guess something like 1.8 million tourists come here every year.
Wow.
Just to the palace. So people all around, incredible building, and it's a good experience even without the indoor pass. Just nice. With that being said, I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, me too.
Let's eat.
Let's go.
And I'll tell you what stands out about this place. Normally buildings look good from the front, but this church looks good from every angle. Beautiful Gothic architecture on every angle. Shout out to Gothic architecture. And so, as we walk past some pretty unique vehicles in the street, we head for a pretty darn unique restaurant. And here we are at a monastery that is also a brewery. I really love this idea. It's like teaching people the value of a simple monastic life, one beer at a time. So first things first, Monastery, everybody. And I can confirm the rumors are true. Czech beer is very good. It has a flavor to it. I don't really like IPA, too flavorful, but this is amber ale. It's got some flavor, but it's still smooth. It's really good beer. And in fact, I've ordered food with beer in the dish. So this is a dark lager goulash. I'm assuming there's beer in the recipe.
I think so. The gravy, at least.
Very good. The Czech really know about beer. This place has been a monastery since 1100, and it's been a brewery since 600 years ago. So I guess the 1400s were a big time in Czech Republic because a lot of the things we've seen today are from the 1400s, including this brewery.
Yum.
Okay. On the drink?
You taste the beer?
Not really, but it's very good.
Yeah. Yeah, one for each. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I was trying to order these.
And huge chunks of beef. Very good. Now, Ivana's got something that looks unique to me. You're saying these are dumplings.
Yeah.
This is a very Czech dumpling.
The dumpling looks like it's made of bread. It's different than the regular dumplings that you normally see.
Something special, no?
I guess it's like bread mushed together, make it kind of like a pudding.
Bread dumpling. And what's your sauce?
Not sure. Let's try. I got like cranberry, beef sirloin,
Beef sirloin and I think like a cream sauce. Something new.
cranberry sauce, and this, and this. Let's see.
Oh, good idea.
The dumplings taste like turkey stuffing.
Turkey stuffing from Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds so good. Like bread stuffing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you cook turkey in North America, normally you put bread as stuffing. It just tastes like that.
Oh, that sounds good.
Tastes like it's very good.
Fantastic.
Tastes like another like Christmas or Thanksgiving food
Nice.
with the cranberry sauce. Very good.
Nice.
Good food.
All right, let's eat and then the adventure continues here in Prague.
Steve, best bite for you.
Oh gosh. Yours is better than mine.
Really? Tastes like turkey stuffing, no?
That's Thanksgiving stuffing. It's quite good, that bread dumpling. Okay, Ivana.
rich actually.
Rich. Pretty good, but yours better.
I think so.
And so, unfortunately, there are some clouds rolling in, but there are still some blue skies for us to chase. And I want to take this time to say something that impresses me so much about Prague, because naturally there are so many tourists in the old town, and deservedly so, because it seems like everywhere you look is a stunning building with some real incredible history attached to it. And so it's a pretty great thing that it seems very tourist friendly here, because in a place like this, sometimes you can get salespeople who are so pushy to the point of nearly scamming.
Right.
And so it's nice to see a place that is deservedly well traveled and yet still pretty tourist friendly, at least in our experience, because there's a lot to enjoy and nobody is bothering us or sort of hassling us, which is a good thing. And we are all smiles as we head towards the Jewish quarter. Let's go. Now, the Jewish Quarter is a popular tourist attraction here in Prague because despite the fact there are only something like 2,000 Jewish people living here today, it's incredibly historic and incredibly well preserved. So there are more than a few synagogues around, including but not limited to the oldest synagogue in all of Europe, which was built more than 750 years ago. Now, one of the most famous residents of this very spot is in fact Franz Kafka, who I heard the name before, but I wasn't sure what he was. I thought he was an author, but I had heard the term Kafka-esque. So it turns out Franz Kafka was a surreal author who dominated the genre so much that anything that's surreal is Kafka-esque.
Okay.
And so I dare say the statue of Franz Kafka is very Kafka-esque. You've got a regular-sized human being sitting on top of the shoulders of a massive headless man.
Right.
It's surreal and it's Kafka-esque. I guess so.
Interesting.
And so I think, unfortunately, the rain is going to come in. I brought my sunglasses as a bit of optimism, but I don't need them. And so I think we'll go indoors now for a Pilsner Urquell tasting in honor of the incredible hockey player we saw in the airport. We're going to go to that beer tasting. Let's go. And so I guess the beer tour is just inside this traditional market, which is a pretty good place to wander. Although, how traditional is it if they accept Bitcoin? Traditional and modern market.
Yes. Well, Steve found something.
What keychain would you get? As you guys know, Ivana and I collect keychains from every country. What would be the symbol that really means Prague? A glass of beer.
Yes.
A hockey stick. Canada lifting the trophy. No.
Very cool market that we came across to here. Wow, that's so cool. What is this though? Just a small cup. That is cool. Lots of souvenir shops. Oh, even the clock tower. Very cool.
Oh yeah, Astronomical clock.
Yeah.
Cool one.
Very nice.
I'll tell you what, typically these places are kind of touristy and lame. These shops, they got some good stuff here.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like it too. And there's even fresh veggies and fruits.
You
Oh
think
my
food
god.
coloring or what? That looks too red to be true, no?
Yeah, it looks
so
so
good,
fresh.
right?
Wow.
They even have some pastry. Oh, it's like stuffed, no?
Yeah.
Almost like a strudel.
You wanna get one?
Want to get one? Maybe can.
This is salty and this is sweet, right? Yeah, this is salty. This is sweet. Which one do you want, Steve?
I think I want the poppy seed.
and plum, or just poppy seed.
Poppy seed and plum.
And plum. That's good, no?
The it's almost black and it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It looks
Let's
like
try.
I don't know how to describe it. Like,
It's poppy seed, though.
it looks like coffee grinds.
True.
It looks a bit, that's what I was thinking. It looks like a bit like wet coffee grinds after they come out of the filter, which doesn't sound good at all, so never mind what I said. Go ahead, Ivana. I tell you what, this little market here is a good pit stop before the beer tasting, man.
I think so. Lots of street food, even hot dogs and everything. But it's interesting.
It looked better when I saw it before. Now it looks a bit mysterious. Is it yummy?
Poppy seed pastry. It's yummy. It's sweet. You try it. Now, do I fail my drug test if I eat the whole thing? Because it's poppy seed.
has heroin, man.
All right, try it, Steve. Good. Pretty sweet.
Pretty sweet.
And poppies, it tastes a little bit like sesame, actually.
The pastry is very good.
Yeah. Tastes like sesame seed a little bit.
The pastry is very good.
Cool.
Kind of good. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
It's different for sure. The ratio of filling to bread or strudel,
True.
extreme. Kind of good.
Yeah. It's like a small pie or something.
Oh, pie.
Yeah.
Oh, a handheld pie.
Yeah.
We finished. Good though.
Oh. Come inside to experience the story of the world's first golden lager.
Sounds good, right?
Yeah.
Now, you guys know me. I never exaggerate. And so I want to say this as clearly as possible. This tour is the greatest thing in the whole world. Oh my gosh, we're learning the whole history of beer, starting from Ninkasi, the ancient Sumerian god of brewing, and all the way into Dionysus, who I had heard of before, the Greek god of getting crunk. So I'm trying not to yell because my headphones are making me learn right now. And interactive and incredible. Highly recommend. Must do in Prague. And so what we learned is originally the monks were making beer, which I guess we know that from where we ate lunch, as well as the kings were making beer, some nobility, and the third party was the rogue brewers who were making sort of ungood and unsafe beer. And this battle of the beer ultimately led to the beer revolution here in Czechia. I'm not making these terms up. Quite literally, the regular common folk of Czechia went to City Hall and dumped 36 kegs of beer on the ground in protest. Armed with their manifesto for a new beer, they demanded that regular people would be allowed to make delicious and affordable beer at their own pace.
Right.
And so if you've ever heard the term Pilsen, which I think my mom said my first ever word spoken when I was a baby was Pilsen. But it actually comes from the city in Czechia called Pilsen where they made the first ever Pilsner. And so introducing Pilsner Urquell, which is a little bit darker than the beer I typically drink, but it's so good. Has more of a flavor in it and it's really delicious. And we learned that Czech people drink more beer per capita than anywhere else in the world.
Right.
So I guess I'm 5% Czech. Pilsner Urquell, very good beer. And we even learned that Czech people like to drink a lot of foam in their beer.
Right.
They have a beer called Mliko, or I should say a pour called Mliko, where it's like 90% foam and 10% beer in the bottom. Which to me is just a bad pour.
I know.
But over here, that's a type of pour because the bubbles have a different flavor, different aroma, and a different
right.
experience. Maybe you consume less alcohol that way, but you still get the refreshing sort of
Right.
beer mouth. In the end, it was a great tour. I can't recommend it enough. It was interactive, it was very sophisticated and very fun and just great. And in the end, we end up with some free beer. And since Ivana's pregnant, I get to have hers too.
I know. Yes, I enjoyed this tour even though I can't drink.
It was really well done.
Yeah.
We learned so much history. There was a little beer tasting in the middle where there's pictures on the wall that are talking to the bartender, joking around.
Right.
It was really well done. We loved it. And so let's drink our beer and enjoy. And so lucky us, the rain has stopped out here. And I gotta say that museum tour was so good. Keep in mind, each person gets 3 glasses of beer on the tour. And Ivana is pregnant, she had 0. So 6 for me means I love this city. Now listen, I've been saying that Copenhagen was my favorite European capital. I'm not here to tell you Prague is better, Copenhagen is better than Prague. But Prague is up there in the same category. What a place.
Impressive. Very impressive.
What a place. Loved it.
Yes. Beautiful.
Really loved it.